my name is Lincolnite, and this is my review of the ILM Airflow motorcycle gloves.
Alright, so this is going to be my first time ever riding in these gloves. The only other time I have put them on was when I first got them, just to, make sure that the size was good on them and everything like that. In this video, first off, I'm going to just kind of go over some of the features and the specs on them. So first, these gloves are made out of goat skin, so it's not going to be as, I guess, thick or as stiff as like cowhide leather would be. So this is a bit more of like a thinner, lighter kind of leather. Carbon fiber knuckles. It's also got pads kind of along the knuckles. It's got like a pad in the palm. I wouldn't really call it a palm slider, so this is kind of more of like a rubberized material. But these come in at about the $50 price point on Open Road Apparel. Which, shameless plug, if you use my link in the description with my coupon code Lincolnite10, you get 10% off your entire purchase. But so the reason that these are called the Airflow glove is because if you can notice, along the knuckle it's got a big ass kind of vent scoop on it. So what that's going to do is that's going to grab air and that's going to kind of shove it inside of the glove. Now these gloves do come either in gauntlet style or non-gauntlet style. I have the non-gauntlet ones, but today's about a crisp 90-degree day with a good amount of humidity, so it'll be a good day. About 90 degrees with a good amount of humidity in the air, so I figured it would be a good day to test a airflow style glove. But today's video, I'm going to touch on three things that I do in all gear review videos. That is going to be comfortability, rideability, and durability. Comfortability is basically just overall how comfortable are they to wear. Overall, these gloves are not bad. They got a good amount of flex to them, so they're not really stiff by any means. But the one thing that I should mention as far as comfortability goes, and this is an issue that I actually tend to have with all gloves, is the fact that my fingers are long, but they're skinny. So the issue that I always have with wearing gloves is the fact that I actually kind of tend to bottom out the finger holes. So that's always kind of a hard part for me with finding gloves that fit. It's the fact that if I go a size bigger, my fingers swim around inside of them because my fingers aren't wide enough to actually kind of fill out the fingers. Or I just end up bottoming them out. And bottoming out is kind of what I'm doing with these ones. My thumbs are definitely at the end of the fingers, and my pinky kind of is too. My other fingers are okay. I can kind of, just ever so slightly, like right now, I can kind of brush the ends of the fingers. But overall though, I would not say these gloves are uncomfortable by any means. Like I can feel the seams on them. I mean, it's nothing too bad. I mean, I tend to really notice seams like on any gloves that I wear, but they're not sharp. They're not like really intruding by any means. So for comfortability, as far as for me, like I said, just kind of an extenuating circumstance for me, I'd probably give these about a 7 out of 10 as far as comfortability goes, simply because, like I said, I'm bottoming out the thumbs and I can kind of feel the seams. So now rideability. What I mean by rideability is things like, is there anything about the gloves that make it difficult to ride? I would say not really. I would say the rideability on these is definitely good. Like there's no like the palm padding, it isn't putting like a weird bump on the gloves. So like I could grip the handlebars well with them. Another thing that like I kind of like would point out is that like on my another thing like on my last glove review video that I did on the Joe Rocket gauntlets was the fact that the leather was a little thicker, so it's kind of hard for me to like reach up and like grab my levers, and that is not a problem with these. It's definitely easy to move around in them. The gloves are actually pre-curved, meaning that like when you take the gloves out of the package, they're going to have kind of the C shape. So it's gonna kind of help you hold on to the handlebars with them. And I'm also gonna kind of lump the airflow portion into rideability rather than comfort, simply because that's kind of like more what they're designed for, is the whole airflow thing. I will actually say I don't notice that much airflow through them. He's pointing out that
that is not much smaller than mine.
yeah, pointing out that dude's gonna have a broken TV by the time he gets home. But as far as like the whole airflow thing goes, I'm kind of trying to like angle my clutch hand down a little bit more, because like I can very faintly feel some air flowing like through the knuckles, but it's not a whole lot. And I don't know if that's because like with this being more of a sport bike, my hands are kind of angled in a way that it's not really scooping that much air, or like what the deal is. But like they're not hot, like, you know, like I said, it's about a 90-degree day, but I'm also not noticing like a huge amount of airflow through these, but it's like just enough that like my hands aren't warm. And I mean, it also helps that they're mostly white gloves. But I mean, you know, I don't know, because like I've rode in like more of like a mesh style glove. Like I have like the Icon, I think they're called like the 29ers or something like that. They're more of a mesh glove with like a leather palm. Those flow a ton of air, I will tell you that. So I mean, it's not really fair for me to try and like compare these to those, because they are full leather. But I mean, for a leather glove, I'd say they do all right. I mean, could probably stand to have like some more perforation like along the fingers, or maybe have the vents or, you know, like I don't know like how the whole vent system works on these, but I would say the airflow probably isn't as good as I was expecting, but I can feel airflow. But for rideability overall, I'd probably give these an 8 out of 10. There's nothing that makes it difficult for me to ride in them. But, you know, just to note, like the airflow, it's not as much flow as you would get with like a mesh style glove, but for a leather glove, I'd say it's pretty decent. And now for durability. How well do I feel these gloves are made? How well do I think they would protect me in the event of an accident? On the first ride, I would say these gloves are built pretty good. A lot of the seams are only single stitch, where once you kind of get more into the higher end gloves, a lot of gloves will have double stitched seams. These are only single stitch. Now, I have read a lot of reviews on these gloves before I decided to pull the trigger on them. And I mean, with anything, there are definitely some mixed reviews. There are people who are saying that they went down at 65 miles an hour with their hand pinned under their bike, and the gloves absolutely saved their hands. And then you have, you know, the people that say, you know, within like, you know, probably about 3 months, some of the seams started to come apart. So, I mean, you know, I always say take reviews with a grain of salt, because, you know, there's definitely going to be hit and miss with anything. For instance, this jacket that I am wearing right now, my Alpine Stars leather. When I first got this jacket, I had one of the button clasps completely pull out of the jacket. So I got a different one, and I've been riding with this thing for 3 years, and it has held up fantastically. So, you know, there's always going to be hit and miss with quality. Overall, though, I feel like these gloves are made pretty damn good. You know, they've got like accordion stretch along the knuckles here. It's got accordion stretch around the cuffs. Really, the only gripe I would probably have is I feel like the clasp may not be super well made, you know? Like it's kind of like a rubber material, whereas I usually like to see like clasp adjustments to be made out of leather as well, if the glove is made out of leather, you know? But I can feel like the palms are double layered leather. You got carbon fiber on the knuckles, you got padding like all over every single finger and in the palm. So I do feel like these would protect me pretty good. You know, in any sort of a slide situation, I would say they would probably protect me very well. Like right now, cruising along at 45, I feel like if I went down, I would not be burning through this leather one bit. Do I think they would probably stand up to another crash? Probably not. You know, like, and I'm kind of saying that because of it being goat skin. From what I understand, goat skin is more of a lighter, thinner, you know, not as substantial, I guess is the word that I want to use. It's not going to be as durable as cowhide. Cowhide will definitely, you know, a lot of the times take the cake when it comes to leather. It's always going to be a thicker, more denser leather, whereas goat skin is kind of more of a comfortability sort of thing. Overall though, for the first ride, I would say I'm pretty impressed with these gloves. Really, the only two gripes that I'd say I have with them is the fact that, you know, again, with it being my particular situation, bottoming out some of the fingers, and the airflow probably not being nearly as much as I was expecting it to be. Neither of those are things that I would say would be a deal breaker. For an overall score though, I'd probably give these gloves a solid 8 out of 10. I mean, for $50 gloves, you know, first impressions, I'm pretty impressed with them. I feel like, you know, for $50 gloves, they are pretty well made. But guys, thanks for checking out my video. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel while you're at it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you later.